So first year it was 2 to 3 jobs a week. It was just really inconsistent. Sometimes I'd have a week where I'd have 5 jobs and then the next 2 weeks I'd have zero. So it was super random. Now it's more like consistent. We're booked out for like 2.5, 3 weeks, I think, right now. Yeah, I would say that like if you are serious about growing your business, it's something you have to do. Literally, if anyone is hesitant on it, I would say just take the leap, go for it.
Can you share a little bit of the specific results or numbers you've seen?
In the 2 months that I've worked with you guys, I 2x'd from the first month, from the previous month, and then from the second month, I 2x'd that number as well. So I've basically 4x'd the business in the last 2.5 months.
Hey everybody, today we have Vito. He's one of our recent pressure washing clients.
Hi, I'm Vito. I own Clearview Exterior Cleaning. We do pressure washing, window washing, gutter cleaning, roof washing, house washing, all that kind of stuff.
So before we get into it, you want to tell us and the audience a little bit about yourself and your business and kind of how long you've been in the industry?
I've been in the industry for about 3 years now. First year was like side hustle part-time. Last 2 years I've been doing it full-time.
And then how'd you kind of get started in the pressure washing industry?
Mm. Yeah, so a little random. Originally, I just started with window washing. I actually saw it on like TikTok. I saw like people door knocking and making money doing it. So I was like, oh, like I don't have a job for the summer. Maybe this would be a good thing to do. So I started out there, kind of went on YouTube after that to like learn how to do it, the stuff you needed, all that kind of stuff. But a little bit of a random start, but I literally found it through TikTok.
Yeah. And then what were some of your kind of biggest challenges early on starting out for you?
Hmm. So originally the challenges were just learning how to do it, but that got solved pretty quickly after just like getting experience doing maybe 2 or 3 jobs in each service. But after that, it was actually just like running the business, learning how to get leads consistently because we weren't really doing a good job at that at the start.
Yep, yep. And then before you started working with Eastman Strategies, what was your kind of marketing situation like?
So before I wasn't really investing anything at all. It was all organic. I was really only posting in like local Facebook groups, local Facebook forums, also like on the Nextdoor app. I was getting like a little bit of word of mouth, kind of just like people that I knew. But yeah, I wasn't really investing enough like a time or energy into the actual marketing side of it. It was kind of just all organic.
Yeah. And then what were your numbers if you could kind of get like guesstimate-ish? You mentioned like two to three maybe jobs a week.
Well, the first year I did it where it was kind of like a side hustle. I did it like 2 months in the summer. So first year it was 2 to 3 jobs a week. It was just really inconsistent. Sometimes I'd have a week where I'd have 5 jobs and then the next 2 weeks I'd have zero. So it was super random. I was working like literally based on whenever the phone was ringing. Now it's more like consistent. We're booked out for like 2.5, 3 weeks, I think, right now.
When did you kind of realize it was kind of time to invest in your business?
Yeah, I would say like I realized it was time to really start investing and taking it serious when I dropped out of college to do it full time. I did see the potential of the first year I did it full time. I was in school still doing it, but I was like, I think I got to take this leap for myself, see if I'm able to do this as a career, make some money doing it. So when I dropped out of school to do it, I was like, it's time to really like dial in and go 100% on every asset of the business besides just doing the jobs like the marketing and all that kind of stuff I definitely needed some help with.
And then what was your biggest like fear or kind of hesitation before deciding to go with Eastman Strategies?
I just didn't really know enough about it. Like I didn't really know how it would work. I didn't really know SEO was like a thing that much. I obviously knew about like rankings on Google, but I was kind of like, oh, I don't really think it matters that much. I just didn't really have any thoughts either way about it, but I definitely didn't think it was, I honestly at the start I didn't think it was going to be as helpful as it actually did turn out being.
Yeah. And then what decided you to like go with us as opposed to other places?
I just thought from like right away from the call I had with you guys, I just thought that like you guys knew what you were talking about. I think one thing that's like important anytime in like a business is working with people that you think you guys have like a good connection with. I think that like team morale and all that is really important. So I just thought that we like got along well. I could see it being something that, especially with us like both being younger, I thought that it would be something that we'd be able to like do well and work together as a team pretty well doing.
And then kind of moving on to when we first started with you, what was kind of the first thing you noticed that changed with your business?
So like originally, I didn't really have a good website. It was one I made on Wix actually, like really kind of just thrown together. I didn't even have like a domain or anything like that. So I think just like straight from the beginning, Just like a little bit more professionalism. I imagine when they see your website that you guys made, they're a lot like more, oh, I trust this company than the one I had. I didn't have like FAQs on it or anything like that. So that was one thing that I noticed. Definitely a big jump in the amount of leads I was getting. Like I went from being not super booked to like now I'm booked out like 2 weeks. And that all came like pretty quickly, honestly.
I know you kind of talked about a bit of communication with us, but how would you describe working with us at this point?
I think it's been really good. I've never had an issue with communication. I know that sometimes in like your specific industry, people aren't very responsive, but like literally any time in the day, I think that I've tried to get a reach with you guys. Like it's response within an hour or quicker. There has been times where I've been busy and I've had to like, reschedule our biweekly meetings or stuff like that. You guys are always like very acceptable with that. So like communication wise, literally not one single complaint or issue that I've had.
And then kind of moving on to some quantifiable results that we got for you. Can you share a little bit of the specific results or numbers you've seen?
I've been 3 months of this year been working since I'm in New England, so I was able to start April, I believe. So first month was a little bit slower, but then I started working with you guys. In the 2 months that I've worked with you guys, I 2x'd from the first month, from the previous month, and then from the second month, I 2x that number as well. So I've basically 4x the business in the last 2.5 months.
With the Forex, how has that kind of adjusted your cost per lead? I know you mentioned you kind of were like dabbling in a bit of Facebook ads before.
Yeah, so like the ads weren't really working before, like when I try because I just tried to run them myself last year. They just didn't really do good. I did start up with like LSA, which has been much better there. I'm at like $30 a lead, somewhere between 30 and 35. It kind of changes. My ROAS the first month was like a 6.9x. The second month, it was like a 4.9x. Like anytime you could put in $1 and get almost five back, I'd take that trade any day of the week.
I know we've talked about this before, but have you been able to land any kind of big jobs through the work we've been bringing in?
I'm at like a 50% close rate right now on the SEO leads. The jobs I have landed have been pretty high ticket. So really good with that. I have seen like just obviously more leads coming back and then like getting when you do good work, you'll get referrals. So I have been seeing some like recurring work as well.
And then kind of overall like business growth, how has your business changed kind of overall since we've started working together?
Yeah, I would just say it went from like I said before, it was really sporadic in the beginning. Like I was kind of just working when the phone was ringing. Now it's like I'm booked out multiple weeks, so I like have a schedule. I know what the upcoming week is gonna look like, and honestly, the week after that too, which is honestly very good. Just like lifestyle wise, I'm able to like, plan my life rather than just like waiting for the phone to ring to do work.
And then kind of looking onto the future a bit, what are your kind of plans for growing the business and moving forward now that you have an influx of kind of leads and jobs?
Yeah, so originally my main issue was like I kind of had to work all the jobs myself because it was so sporadic, but now that I'm booked out like multiple weeks, I think the next goal is to get some vans on the road, get some employees working for us just so I can spend more time actually like focusing on the business and scaling it rather than having to do the work now that I can actually give them like a schedule a week in advance. So I would just say it's getting employees out on the road, managing them, all that kind of stuff, and then just continuing to do that, scaling.
What specific like aspects of our service have been kind of most valuable?
I mean, honestly, like everything that you guys have recommended has helped me out in one way or another. I think like the website helped make it more professional. The LSA recommendation helped me get more leads. SEO, I've been able to get more leads through that too. The actual rankings on Google Maps have gone way up. Like everything that you guys have recommended, everything that you guys have been doing has honestly been helping me out, and the results have all been honestly better than I assumed they were going to be when I started.
And then I know we kind of touched on future plans a bit and getting vans on the road. Are there any like kind of new goals or challenges you're excited about that you're kind of able to realistically reach now with this marketing?
Yeah, I would just say to be able to kind of take a step back work wise and kind of like manage a little bit more. The goal with the business was never to like do all the work forever. It was kind of to like, get the company up and going and then be able to, take a step back and manage and kind of focus on bigger picture stuff. So I'm excited for that. And then just like obviously the last 2 months where I have 2x from the previous months, like they've been all-time high months revenue wise. So I'm just looking to continue and see how much further we can push. I'm just hoping to continue to grow the revenue.
Definitely. Yeah. And then I know you kind of touched on some of the things you'd like to be doing in the near future, like stepping back and kind of looking at the bigger picture. Are there any kind of things that you're kind of looking forward to running rather than being in the business?
I would say I'm kind of looking forward to being able to like take a step back just for like it is tiring to have to do all the work all the time. And I think just like when I am able to focus on the big picture stuff, like stuff that I don't even have time to think about, like ideas will be able to pop into my head, new ways to grow. I'll obviously be like always trying to learn new stuff in the industry. So I think just like having the time to do that without being like tired when I get back after a day of work, like will be very beneficial. Also, just like being able to like pick up the phones consistently because like I am handling the phones as well. And sometimes when I'm in like the middle of a job, I'll just be like, I'm just gonna call them back when I'm done. So just like
Yeah.
little stuff like that, I think will be beneficial to like helping us grow and scale.
And then I know you kind of mentioned earlier that you weren't really expecting the results that we got. How did it kind of feel when you did 2x the first month and then eventually 2x that again the second month?
Yeah, it felt good, honestly, like really satisfied with how it's been going so far. And obviously, the more you grow, like the bigger the number gets for revenue. Like if I was able to continue to 2x, like things would change in my life completely. I mean, I've been super satisfied and honestly just like excited to see where I can take it from here and excited to see what you guys can do for me in the future.
And then if you can name it, like what has been the biggest job or client you've landed since working with us so far?
It wasn't like one specific job, but I ended up landing like one family that owned a bunch of apartment complexes. So I did one of them for like 1,800 and then like they recommended me to the brother who also had apartments, which was like another 1,800. And I did like 4 or 5 jobs for them and ended up getting like I think like $7,000 or $8,000 from that family, something like that. So
Oh, wow.
um not one specific job, but just from like that family, that one lead I got, I had a lot of work from them.
And then what would you kind of tell someone who's never heard of us or not really interested in doing the marketing kind of thing?
Yeah, I would say that like if you are serious about growing your business, it's something you have to do. And if like you can either spend the time to learn how to do it yourself or you can just help yourself and hire someone like Eastman Ads, like they've helped out so much. I think it saves the time and honestly not just the time of learning how to do it. Like since you guys are good at it, you've done it in the past. Like you save yourself from making the mistakes that you're gonna make at the start if you try to learn how to do this all yourself. So I just think if you are serious about your business, it's such a good investment. Like I've seen such a good return so far. And I know just like SEO does take a little bit longer to grow. So like I just know I'm going to continue to see that return on my investment.
Yep, definitely. And then regarding other people and other business owners, what would you have to tell any business owners who are kind of on the fence with working with us?
Like I think you guys are great. I would definitely recommend you to literally anyone. My brother is in a similar industry. He does car detailing. I recommended him to you guys for the SEO side of it because it's been such a big help. Literally, if anyone is hesitant on it, I would say just take the leap, go for it. Like no complaints on my end. It's only been very good, very helpful thus far.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you today, Vito. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you, Vito, for your time.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for having me.
Let's continue to kill it. Let's go.
Yep, totally.